This is a continuation of part 3 that I talked about neuron perception and neuron activity. And I just wanted to make sure that I expanded upon that a little bit. Okay? So I studied neuron activity and neurons. Neurons are pretty much brain cells that keep your brain healthy and maintains activity and helps circuitry and helps just the movement of information and how effective and optimal your brain is. So the more healthier and more powerful your neurons, the more powerful your brain, essentially. And what I've noticed is that, for example, an athlete would have more brain activity in the parts of the brain that focus on hand-eye coordination, that physicality, healing from injury, or physical exhaustion, motor skills. The brain will focus more on that than the conceptual stuff, than problem solving, than thinking. Not that all these areas of the brain are getting activity, it's just some are getting more than others. Why is that? Because the neurons are focused on one part of the brain more than others. What I mean by that is that a person who ponders and thinks, a philosopher, a physicist, they're going to have a lot more brain activity and neuron focus on the part of their brain that is problem solving, that's creativity, that's understanding things. Where an athlete or a boxer may have some activity in those areas, but not more than motor skills, not more than physical movement, speed, physical prowess. They're not. And I started to see that, okay, well, one, we don't, in our society, we don't focus on having strong brain cells, having a strong brain, having a strong mind, because the brain body is in alignment. If you are taking care of yourself and taking care of your body, it's going to perform that much better in the physical world. But if you're not taking care of it, you can still do things, but at a less optimal height. But even worse than that, the brain is what really controls everything in the body. Even the automatic things like health and healing and processing food and stuff like that. It's really the brain. The brain is telling these cells what to do, and they're listening to automatic responses. So the brain is in real full control. And so if you have a brain that's not functioning at a proper level, then essentially your body won't be functioning at a proper level either. So you start to see, and the best case I would say is this is an example, is Stephen Hawking. And a lot of these mental disorders people have, there's really no cure for them. We don't know why people get schizophrenia or psychosis or ALS. And ALS disease is what Stephen Hawking got, and he lost control of his body but was still in full control of his cognitive senses. Why is that? And I'm not a medical expert, so just take that. I'm just a person who likes to think and likes to gain wisdom from information. But I've noticed that what happened was the brain stem stopped working functionally, meaning that the connection from his brain and body stopped functioning. And so what happened is that the brain can no longer has so much influence over the body. It lost connection. So the body's going to start to shrivel and die because now it's not being coordinated or directed by the brain. Why is this? Okay, this is what I think. I think that what happened was he used so much of his energy, mentality, and neurons on thinking about problem solving, about cognitive understanding, about conceptual, laws and design, that his mental energy, he used so much of the area of his brain to deal with problem solving that the neurons focus so much on that area because it's using so much energy or so much focus and attention that more than, I won't say more than necessary, but the neurons that were supposed to be keeping the brainstem, the brain and body connection strong, went over and left the area and went to the area that focused on problem solving. I don't think all the neurons left that area, but it wasn't enough. And it's like, if you need 10 workers, 10 neurons to be on that brainstem or be on the area that connects the brainstem and the body, let's just say half of them left. There was only 5 left. And those 5 were doing the best they could, but ultimately the connection got severed. And then now the body's saying, oh, we have an issue. The brain body is no longer connected. We need to go fix it. They go try to fix it, but there's just some physical areas of the body that can't just be fixed. Like if you get your arm cut off, you're not going to grow a new arm. So the same thing with this brain ALS. I just think the brainstem got disconnected because the neurons wasn't doing their job, or the cells wasn't doing their job because they were focused on other areas of the brain. And this, to me, shows that your intention and your intense focus truly matters, and it redirects the neurons and your cells on a cellular level. And the reason why this is important is that there's some mental issues that medically aren't known as to why, and that's because we don't formulate mental desire and intention with physical anomaly. What I mean by this is that if someone gets really angry and gets stressed, we know that this affects the body in a negative way. And we know meditation and peace affects the body in a positive way. So what I mean by this, someone who is putting so much intention on one aspect of life, no matter what it is going to be reflective to what the neurons activity is doing. So if you think this is important, like figuring out a problem, the neurons is going to put more effort on the brain area and activity to try to represent your intention or your desire. Just how if you're trying to be a great athlete, the brain chemistry and neurons will go to the area of the brain to focus on rebuilding your health, rebuilding your muscle, rebuilding your body is stronger. And I truly believe this. And I just wanted to expand on that. I call this neuron perception and neuron intention. And it's the neurons are the neuron activity and the execution of what they do in your mind and your brain is linked to your intention and your desire. And I think Stephen Hawking specifically focused so much on solving issues and problems on the area of his brain to do with problem solving, but the area of the brain to deal with the mind-body connection and the brainstem lacked, and it became disconnected. And once that happened, it couldn't become reconnected and just lost its body. So it's really important to not focus so much on aspects of life, and that your body essentially on a cellular level is trying to replicate what you're trying to do with your mind. So we have some influence over our own bodies. And if we tunnel vision into certain aspects like working out or trying to focus on issues or being heartbroken, that the body tries to imitate that. That if you're stressed, the reason why you have issues with the body because your body is imitating your stress. So you have to be aware of these kind of things. That if you focus too much on life, your body may not be able to take what you're trying to do, your intention. You may want to be an athlete and focus so much on pushing your body that you break your body, or you push your mind so much to understand and grow and become intelligent that you lack on focusing on what your body needs, and your body gives out, which ultimately affects your brain, which affects your mind, and all those things. It's all interconnected. So I just want to talk about brain neuron perception, which is a continuation of the third video. Okay, thanks.